Hello, welcome Kailash and Navita. So we are going to have a small candid conversation about you, your life, and your success, your journey so far. And thank you for accepting this invitation. Coming to take part in this conversation. So where did you fly from?
Sir, I came from Delhi.
Okay,
So I'm
okay.
based out of Delhi only, but
Uh-huh.
I work in Chennai. So it was via Chennai.
Where are you working?
I'm working in Shell UK. It's a
Oh,
oil and gas company. So recent 2 days back I resigned.
okay. How long you're working there?
I've been working since 9 to 10 years, sir. I'm a chemical engineer and I've been working in fertilizer and oil and gas sector.
Okay, very interesting. Why did you make this transition? Like 9 to 10 years in a great big
Yes, sir.
company,
Like
and then
I somewhere in that sector, I felt something is missing, and contentment was not that much high because I was born and brought up in Kant area. As my dad was in Air Force,
Mhm.
so I have that acumen of nation service. So I decided to choose this. So
Okay.
this.
So what about you, Kailash? Did you work before becoming topper somewhere?
Part-time working at your institute itself as a content developer and as a tutor also.
Mhm.
Apart from that, mostly it was part-time itself. My main focus was with studying and preparing for the civil service examination.
And you have opted Indian Foreign
Yes, sir.
Service.
Yes, sir. My
So,
first preference is Indian Foreign Service.
so what about you? IAS.
IAS, IPS.
When you're working 9 to 10 years in that company, right? And when you're making this transition to totally different field,
Yes.
are you prepared for this mentally?
Yes, sir, I'm very much prepared because this is the thing what I always wanted to have because I started my preparation in 2018.
Hmm.
So after working for 4.5 years, I started my preparation. So this
So how
is
did you
what
manage both work and preparation?
it was difficult, but sir, it is doable, I would say.
Hmm.
It's all about discipline and time management.
Hmm.
So during weekends or during holidays, I used to stretch my schedule like 12 to 13 hours. And
Hmm.
during work days, I need to somehow manage at least 4 to 5 hours.
Hmm.
So yes, it was hectic, but that's why it took me 5 attempts to reach. But I
Hmm.
would say it had taken care of the insecurities of losing job or not having career.
Hmm.
So had I not been here selected, then I was having a very good career. So I did not have that insecurities.
In hindsight, do you think if you had left your job either in 2018 or 19, do you think you would have saved more time to become topper?
Yes, sir, I can say that because then if you're preparing full time, then definitely you will manage more time to do that. So I also think that like if somewhere back in life I would have taken off of 1 year or 2 year, it would have been a little earlier. But that is also good. I kept my financial independency
Mm-hmm.
on during this period. So no such regrets.
Mm-hmm. So how did you prepare?
So my most of my preparation have been self-study itself. Apart from that, I've been joining the Insights co-batch. Initially, I struggled a little bit. In my first attempt, I failed my prelims. After that, I realized that knowledge is not just the thing which is needed for this exam. After my first attempt, my focus was mainly on prelims alone. I didn't realize that there's something called as mains and interview where I have to prepare separately. That 2015 preparation, actually, I think I misjudged the preparation over there, and after that, I never failed in prelims, but it was very difficult for me to crack the mains. So I had to think on my whole strategy as a whole. So it's been 7 years, and in the 7 years, I took a year of break. And after the break, in which the break I focused mainly on writing the answer writing. That is, I joined the co-batch, and for whole year, I was just practicing on improving the answer structure and everything. So that actually helped me. And till that time, always whenever I used to write mains, I had a fear that I was not clearing. I might not clear the mains. But after that writing the co-batch, I never had a doubt that I won't clear mains. I was always confident that I'll be clearing the mains. Last year, though I did go to interview, I didn't clear the final exam. But that year also, I had a hope that I would clear the exam. And this year also, the process made it so simple that by understanding how the UPSC is working, or how we should analyze the previous year question and how we need to structure our answers, everything, that helped me in ensuring that okay, whatsoever happens now, prelims is a cakewalk, mains is a cakewalk, now even interview will be a cakewalk now.
Good. So how did you manage? I mean, answer writing practice requires a peer group or maybe somebody to give you feedback. Did you have access to something like that? Like how did you practice alone most of the time?
Sir, I did all my preparation on my own only, because I don't have the luxury to travel to any coaching
Coaching
institutes
centers,
and
yes.
have the full-time classroom coachings and all. So I did take test series. I do write tests, but I wrote it alone only, and I get feedback from the faculties of the institutes. So this is how I approached. And during interview phase, I met some people from amongst the candidates who were preparing. So until mains, I was doing on my own only.
Now, how did you maintain that fire within you, like to sustain yourself for 4 to 5 years,
Yes.
and that too repeating most of the things,
Yes.
studying the same stuff again and again.
I always thought like I have 6 attempts and I have to do within this time frame. And as I mentioned earlier, I was a late starter, so it kept, because I don't want to have that regret in my later life that if I had given this attempt, I could have been someone else, something else. So in order to not to have that regret in future life, so I kept working hard.
So did you face those moments where you felt like giving up? We have failed like 3 times, 4 times.
Yes,
Or did your parents say something about it?
Yes, those moments definitely too came, because I continuously failed in 4 prelims.
Oh,
And this was my first prelims, first mains, and first interview as well.
nice.
So definitely these thoughts do came, and during these times, this is when your family or parents supports to come into the picture. So they motivated me, like, just keep working hard, keep trying, because
No, I want you to go back to fourth attempt where you saw prelims result.
Yeah.
You didn't clear prelims result. How did that feel?
It was a heartbreak for me, because it was fourth attempt. I was losing attempts, and I was losing this bracket also to join service early. But yes, somehow I managed it. Because
How did you bounce back? Because what I see is that after prelims failure, people waste like 2-3 months just like that. They know that they have failed and they cannot gather together and they waste time. Like, how did you bounce?
I did not wasted that time, sir, because somewhere I have internally consoled myself, because I consoled myself by having like there must be something lacking in my preparation. That's why I'm not able to make it that. So in my fifth attempt, I identified those lacunas, those gaps, and tried to fill that. Rather than bogged down by the failure, I tried to have opportunity in this failure where I was lacking.
So what did you start with after prelims failure? Like optional or?
I have already done my optional in this.
Your
fifth
optional
one,
is?
Sociology.
Okay.
So I have already done 2-3 readings of the optional. What my pain point was prelims only. So what I did, I started taking tests, so many tests. In this attempt, I did more than 50 tests, I guess.
You
So
started early also.
Yes, yes. This strategy I changed in my last attempt, which paid me off. And for mains, I did not find it very challenging, because somehow I was good at writing. So I scored good marks in GS as well. That's why. And I did all my writings for mains after prelims results. Before that, I did never any answer.
You didn't have time also.
I didn't have time, so all the mains writing I did after prelims result only.
Okay. So, like when you were, like you said that in your first prelims you didn't clear.
Yes, sir.
But after that, subsequently, in all the attempts, you have cleared prelims.
Yes, sir.
But not clearing mains in
Yes, sir.
some of the attempts. How did that feel like? You're clearing prelims, but not clearing mains.
So almost every time whenever I used to see my result, there was every time I used to have an emotional breakdown. Like it was never a situation where but including the first prelims and all the mains and last day interview also, every time it feels like, okay, I'm giving everything I have. I'm trying to analyze everything, but still it's not going. And when we think like that, it did lead to emotional breakdown every time. After the emotional breakdown, I start recovering my energy again. I take 2-3 days of break. Mostly my habit is like whenever results come, I take 2-3 days of break. In that break, I just sleep. That's all. After sleeping, I try to fresh up all my memory and then start afresh again. Every time my preparation has been afresh. It's not like so I read it earlier, so I have to start again, because in this exam we do not know where we are lacking. If I get the mains results, I'm getting only the mains marks, and I don't know where to improve. So that has been every time a challenge. So every time, whenever I used to write the mains, I had to change my strategy every time. So here, many people have helped, including you. Like I used to show you essay ethics regularly, and Shashank, Manju, Tanmay, everyone tried to give me different inputs. Every time I used to show them, they used to give different input thinking that the last time the strategy was not working.
Mhm.
So I think, but in the core batch, I realized few things, that my problem was not with the quality or the content as such. The problem was mainly with ensuring that I address the demand properly within the given time period. So every time what used to happen was, like, in the last half an hour or 45 minutes, I was left behind with about 100 marks or something like that.
Mhm.
But this time I strategized in such a manner that I have a spare time of at least 1 or 2 minutes left behind, and I write the answers within a time frame properly. So
Mhm.
this helped me in ensuring that I write demand of the question, complete the paper, and this increased the marks drastically. Like, literally, I was falling short of about 30 to 40 marks. And after, like, the core batch, my marks drastically increased, say 80 to 90, and this year it literally increased about 70 to 80 marks.
Mhm.
So this clearly shows that how, like, we have to address the demand more than just writing the content as such. So
Mhm.
every time different strategies, but yes, I had to go in that way.
So at
That's it.
certain point of time in your preparation, you have to realize
Yes,
that
sir.
what was lacking, and also it takes courage, right? Courage in the sense that to make amendments to your strategies, in some cases your own personality also. So why I'm saying is that I think after 4 attempts he came and he said, no, I'll start from basics. So I'll join the core batch and I'll start writing answers. I told him that you have to forget that you've written mains previously, and you start from basics and again. And he sat like any other student, so was a fresher, and he wrote all the tests and he took feedback. Did such kind of moment came in your preparation where you felt I have to just go back to basics and start afresh?
Yes, after prelims, like
Mm-hmm.
fourth, when I failed fourth time in prelims examination, then I realized something very fundamental is lacking.
Mm-hmm.
But I did not take any mentoring support, so I identified on myself only. I analyzed my this 3 4 years of preparation. So I started from the very basic. I read it NCRTs again. I solved previous year questions again very
So in the
deeply.
month of July itself, you started
Yes, I
solving previous
started.
year
Yeah,
questions
right
and.
after the 1 week of the declaration of result, I started it again, and I started with previous year questions, and not only the questions but the options which are given in those questions. I analyze them as well from the source book, not from the solutions.
Mm.
So this is how I managed, and then again reading those basic books, and I did reverse engineering. So I solved questions, then I went to the books and then revised.
Important thing is you started early, not like most of the people start doing it after January, or 2 or 3 months before
Yes,
prelims.
yes. I
That is
started
good.
in. I was knowing somewhere because I'm working full time. I may not have the luxury to start in
Now, how did you
January.
figure it out that you had to start immediately with PYQs now itself?
It was the zeal, because somewhere inside me I was knowing I have to do this. I have to crack this. Yes, maybe this in this attempt I may have failed, but since I have read all the syllabus, it's just a matter of few years, I would say, or it's just a matter of little more hard work. So I kept that fire inside me. So it
Good.
helped me. I didn't get inspiration or motivation from outside sources. It was
You
inside.
didn't watch all those YouTube videos?
No, no, never, never. So it was inside me, like I have to do this and don't have much time. So
Okay, so how did your job help? We say that job might have delayed your success, but I'm sure your job might have also helped you immensely.
it might have delayed by few years my
Mhm.
success, but over when I see on a larger picture, I gain a more confidence, a more professionalism, and I have learned a lot of skills in my job which may be helpful in administration. So I would say it's a win-win situation. I would not say ki it has, yes, it's a delay. It might be a delay of 1 or 2 year, but when I see a larger picture, the experience I gained from my work experience, it would definitely help me to cope up the situations and challenges which may come up service in the future.
So another thing is, earlier you said that you had good writing skills.
Yes.
Like, from where did you develop, like school days, college days, or did you have any writing habit during your working days?
No, I actually had it from the school days itself, and I also participated in various essay writing competitions.
Mhm.
Then in college as well, I was scoring good marks in. Although my subject was engineering, where not much writing is required, but yes, I was very much into the writing, and I also realized it when I started writing after prelims.
That you
Because,
possess good writing
because I have
skills.
heard people are not able to finish the paper in time, but
Hmm.
I was able to do that. So
Hmm.
so it gave me a confidence, at least I'm able to finish the paper, and over a period of time I did write quality.
Like when you failed multiple times, this was your seventh
Yes, sir.
attempt. So in last six attempts, you didn't make it, right?
Yes, sir.
And during that journey, you would have seen many of those who were preparing with you,
Yes, sir.
getting into services
Yes, sir.
in state or through UPSC.
Yes, sir.
How did that feel? How did you handle that?
Whenever my friends used to clear, that just used to give me extra motivation. I never felt bad that they cleared, I didn't clear like that.
Hmm.
I uh, I think that the exam process is made in such a manner that it is your quality when you're actually ready for the exam, then only you'll be able to clear the exam. If you're not properly ready, then maybe there may be something which will be lacking in me. So I cannot blame someone else that they are clearing and I'm not clearing. They might be whether they would have cleared it whether in the first attempt or whether they would have cleared in the ninth attempt. So it is just like every time whenever I used to think like, okay, so I have to change something now. Then only I'll be into the list. Otherwise, I'll be again outside the list. So every time I had this feeling only. So I just made sure that okay, that didn't hurt me. I was feeling happy for them, but I started my preparation again, saying that okay, I have to change things here.
Hmm.
This was how my mind used to work.
So how does it feel like like to be a topper?
Where I got the satisfaction, at least this hard work of 5 6 years have finally given some results to me.
Hmm.
So I feel, I'm feeling very much relieved. Like,
Mhm.
it's a inspiration for others also, that if you are failing continuously, that we should not give up. So you never know when how beautifully your hard work can come into.
Hmm.
So
So how do you stay grounded, when people are celebrating your success? Do you think it is a challenge to stay grounded when?
no, sir, I don't think so. It's a challenge because it's just an exam. It's
Mhm.
just it's something from where the journey has to begin. So it's just a beginning, not the end, and it's a means to achieve the end, I would say. So I think we should remain rooted to our own personal self, to our initial self,
Hmm.
and should be more grateful to our parents and to each and every person who have been helpful in this journey.
For me, so clearing exam did give me a lot of peace. So before that, like as I told you, I just working as part time at Inchurch itself, and we have a business, family business. So Papa every time used to say that you don't have to worry about anything. If you don't clear, also it's not an issue. So, but every time I had this thought saying that okay, in future I have to start something again. I have to either go to the IT field, start our own enterprise, something like that. But after clearing it gave a lot of peace. Like now, I don't have to think about any plan B or anything. And after clearing prelims, this final exam, I am more grounded than before because now I see that how people are lot of they are like expressing every happiness, everything. But I feel like okay, if I start doing that, then though I am happy, but if I start expressing more happiness and all, maybe I might miss my morals or etc. So after clearing the exam, I became more and more grounded. I tried to help people in various ways, like now as mentoring to people. But apart from that, it is mostly like okay, I live in my own zone. Being from childhood days, I've always been within my own zone itself. Like I interact very less with people. Most of my interaction, it's like just whenever the need arises. That's all. Whenever the need
More of
arises, I go.
listening and
Huh?
observing.
Otherwise, just listening, observe things, how things are happening. Try to learn how others are doing. By just observing and listening things, we learn more than we sometimes we just involve in conversation just because we want to be in that conversation, but I never felt like okay, I need to be in that conversation. Without being in the conversation, I can learn things. I will get to know what all things are needed for me.
Mhm.
And If the need arises, then I do involve in the conversation.
Have you made any sacrifices?
Professionally, yes, I do have made certain sacrifices because when you are working in a private sector, you have to be always very competitive. You work on the edge, and during this process, I have to let go of various critical projects and
Promotions, maybe.
promotions, not such, but yes, we do have rating systems. So it was like sort of you have to manage with the average. So these were the small sacrifices. I don't think so. These do matter very much when you are aiming for the big.
Did people at work support you? Your managers or your colleagues, because they have seen you 4 to 5 years. You cannot hide, your civil services journey from them.
Yes, somehow I managed to hide from.
Oh.
Yes, but yes, few of them were knowing that I'm preparing, and I did not face any roadblock from them. So it was like this.
Okay.
However, it was not known to many people.
So what is your plan now? I mean, what is your next goal?
So,
So now we have achieved this goal. I mean, dream of yours so far. Then again, I don't think it will stop here, right? So we keep craving for more and more goals and achievements. So what is your?
as such, I said that my first preference was foreign service. I do not know actually what the diplomats actually do or something like that. So now I'm just searching things as to what they are doing and what all capabilities they have. Once I get to know what all they are able to do and what all contribution they can make, then I might be setting one of the goal as such. So right now, I have not set any goals. So
Learning more about diplomacy
Yes, sir.
and foreign policy.
yes, sir.
So are you reading any book currently?
So right now I'm reading a book, but it's related to intelligence. It is a book written by Vikram Sood.
So it was wonderful having this conversation with both of you, and I hope you will enjoy the felicitation function here. And nearly 120 toppers are coming here, gathering here. They call it as mini labasna. Okay, so thank you so much, and enjoy the moment. Have a wonderful time in Bangalore. Let us know if you need anything here. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
So
Thank
much.
you.